Ma'am, Karpalakshmi ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
And we'll start, ma'am.
Okay, ma'am. A very good afternoon to all. We welcome you all to the session 12 of 5-day online Atal FDP on AR and VR. Now, the session 12 of Atal FDP is Markerless Tracking for Augmented Reality by Dr. Rubini, CMR University, Bangalore. A warm welcome to Dr. Rubini. Welcome, ma'am. It,
Thank you, ma'am.
it gives me a great feel of sharing the information about our resource person. Dr. Rubini, member IEEE and Computer Society Bangalore chapter, is an associate professor and head at the Department of CSE and IT, School of Engineering and Technology, CMR University, Bangalore. She completed her PhD in Information Science and Engineering from Anna University, Chennai, having 10 years of experience in teaching and research. She authored a book titled Open Source Software and published in Lampert Academic Publications. She filed a patent in IoT sensor technique for smart water monitoring system. She has presented papers in various national and international conferences, and also she has published 15 plus papers in various international reputed SEI journals. She is an editor and a reviewer for several international journals. And also, adding to this, she is a certified Neo4j graph database professional. She completed her diploma in advanced SQL database from Allison courses. Presently, she is guiding research scholars associated with CMR University and involved in developing projects for data storage and analysis in social networking and associated with consultancy projects in AI and machine learning techniques. With this, let me hand over the session to Dr. Rubini. Session over to you, ma'am. Welcome once
Yeah,
again.
yeah, ma'am. Thank you so much for your introduction, ma'am. And I really feel grateful for the management for providing me this opportunity. And also a special thanks to Dr. Uma ma'am and Dr. Kapilakshmi ma'am for identifying me for this topic. So special thanks to you. And a special message from my side to all the participants. Like this new normal taught us so many things that life is not that easy, and also the development of technologies are taking us in right direction to make us understand that even in this tough situations also we can make our life so pleasant and so easily with the help of the technologies. So we are gathered here to share such type of technology which will bring us our imagination into a reality. And to be a part of this wonderful topic, I'm also glad, and I'm really honored by the management as well as the faculty team for arranging such wonderful sessions all these days. So with this short note, I would like to share my screen, and let me take you all to the imagination world. So shall I share my screen, ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
So let it be an interactive session. If at all you have any of the things to be discussed, or if you want to share any of the inputs with relevant to my concepts, you can raise your hand. You can give your suggestions as well. Or if you have any of the questionnaires to be discussed, we can have the discussion in the end. So I planned like that only my presentation today. So I need it to be an interactive rather than only giving my inputs. Even the topic itself says that we are going into some of the virtual field now. So I need everybody's input to this. And this time is the right time for sleep. So this imagination, dreams, and all those things will give a mixed feel, I guess so, from 2 to 3. If there is internet issue, or if you couldn't able to see my screen, or if you couldn't listen to my volume properly, you can interrupt me anytime. Is it all fine? Anybody from the participants, you can say yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So this is the topic where we are in session 12. Almost all the sessions you might have listened, and many of the expertise have been given you so many inputs. What is mean by virtual reality, augmented reality, and you have crossed across 11 sessions. I hope now you are dumped with huge knowledge about it. Mine is going to be somewhat like fresh and basic, and I'm not going to teach. I'm not going to train you how we are going to build an app or how we are going to take it further. No such kind of things will be there in my session. It is just I'm going to drive you in what is the trends and technologies are there, and how we have to take it up, and what are the things that are existing, and what is going to be in the upcoming, means near future, what are the things we can expect. And I'm going to take you to some of the popular websites which will give you even more additional information about these concepts. So that is how it is going to be. It is not more of technical, it is more of informative. So the topic is markerless tracking for augmented reality. And myself, as Kapalakshmi ma'am introduced, Dr. Rubini, Associate Professor and Head in Department of Computer Science and Engineering from CMR University, Bangalore. And to add on to this, I'm really happy to share that I started my career in Jnanamani College of Technology. So I'm a product of Jnanamani. And these are the contents that we will be having a look for this session. One is we will be starting with introduction to augmented reality. I guess you might have heard this in your previous session, so I won't be taking much time in that. In my way, I will be giving you a simple definition of what augmented reality is. Then we will be seeing types of AR and what is mean by markerless AR, and then how it can be differentiated by with marker augmented reality, and how does and marker augmented reality works, and what are the different types are there in that. And in specific, in near future we will be seeing much of location based markerless AR. So in that we will be seeing some of the things. And then what is the advantage and disadvantage, because anyhow whatever the technology is, surely there will be some plus and minus will be there. It is our responsibility to take the positive things and to use it for positive attitudes, not to see for the demerits and to take the technology for disadvantageous things and all. And also we can see the cons to make it some of the betterment in that. If we can contribute through our research, we can contribute that, and we can make those disadvantages also an advantageous one. So that is what usually I used to think of, and that's why I'm going to present what are the pros and cons are there in markerless AR. Then we will be seeing what are the certain markerless AR software applications are available, and for what purpose they are in use, and what are the things we can adapt from that. Those things we will be seeing. And next is an important key point, like what are the top industry AR SDKs are available, software development kits are available, and we will be seeing which are the industries already in trend it is using markerless AR, and for what purposes they are using. And finally we will be seeing the future of markerless AR, what is going to be further. And this is how the session will drive. An introduction to AR. So I don't want to read all those things. I want to just tell you, like, even whomever the human being is, they will be having a separate world, which we will call it as a dream world or imaginary world. From our childhood till whatever the days we will be surely having our own imaginary world. Somebody will be saying it as a dream world, and this is my dream home. And sometimes I'm getting dream like this, like if I've been here, or if my place is suddenly surrounded with water, how it will be, or suddenly if a whale enters into my room, how it will be, or all those things will be there. So without imagination, none of them have crossed our life, are not going to cross our life. So it has been a part of everybody. And whenever we watch a movie, we will be using we used to think like whether whether these things are possible. It is like science fiction movie, and this is full of animated, and this is more of illusions, all kind of science fiction movie, and this is not possible. And if it was really happened, it is to bring all those imaginaries and to bring all those dreams into a real world. This particular technology is working for that purpose. So you can have your imaginary world into your real world. So if I want to assume that suddenly a giraffe is standing next to me, then I can have a real world imagination of that. Instead of imagining it over my mind, I can picturize it and I can visualize it, like if I have been in a zoo. If I have my own lion in my home, how it will be. So all those imaginations can be brought into a real world with the help of augmented reality and virtual reality concept. Is this the only thing, like only for fancy are we doing these things? No, it is not only meant for fancy, just for making us to understand. I take that one into consideration, but this can be more of helpful for education and for implementation purposes as well. So let me tell you one of the thing, like if a student is studying about engineering principles, it will be hard for him to understand by reading the text and to realize it how it will be if we take into medical industry, because this is going to be 90% of work worthful for medicine students and for any of them under medical background. If a student want to understand how does a heart work, by reading it and by understanding the concepts, it will be really tough for him. It will take more time. Instead, assume that he's showing his mobile phone over the picture, and if he could really if he could able to see the real working of heart, then how best it will be. It will be so easier for him to understand, and it will be so much confidential level will be increased for the student, so that he can go for real world implementation. So that is the thing. We are into augmented reality and virtual reality, which is going to give a real experience. Instead of imagining and instead of referring to the text, we can have some real world experiences. And also we can take some more example, like if we are an architect or if we are constructing a home, instead of going for picking up the things and placing it, and after purchasing the products, we will be thinking why we purchased it. It is not suit for me, and it is not flexible for me, and it is not fit enough for that room. So all those things will be there after purchasing a product. But now with the help of VR and AR technology, we need not to purchase a product. Rather, we can visualize it if it is there, if you have already purchased, and how you will be feeling it. That real feeling you can have it in your home itself. And if you feel comfort and if you find it more and more of comfortable, then you can afford it. So those kind of help also you can get from AR. And one more advantage is there, like if I go with AI technologies, then you need not to sorry for interruption, just a second. Hello, hello. Yes, you can contact Shruti ma'am. I will send it. Yes, I will send it to your text. Okay. Yeah. Really sorry for the interruption. For students, exams are going on. That's why they keep on calling me. Sorry. Here you can apply this technology for any of that imaginary things to bring into real life situation, and you can experience it. And after experience, if you really want to go for that, we can go for that. Even in case of location based AI, we need not to carry a mobile device, or we need not to get inputs from anybody. In present scenario, we might have all come across these things like I feel isolated and nobody is there to talk with me, and I feel so much of depressed because of my conditions which I couldn't able to share with anybody. In such type of situations, you can have a augmented reality friend kind of, or whichever the thing you feel it as, you that will help you out. You will be having some imaginations, right? Like this if it has been my partner, then I feel more comfortable. Or if I have my own designed pet in my home, then I will be feeling more relaxed with that. So such type of things also we can design, and we can have it with ourselves to share all those things, and which will bring out from the stress. Also it will recover us from the depression. So these are so many wide range of platforms where we can apply AI, not only in gaming or not only for film industry. It will be best suitable for applications like education and hospital management. In many of the cases, it is going to be a wider part in near future. Okay, so with this short note, I think that I have given you some of the definition for AI. So with this short note, let's continue further. So introduction to AI, it is a technology which will be working on computer vision based recognition algorithms. So it is purely of ML kind of, DL kind of, deep learning, machine learning, artificial intelligence, computer vision. All those concepts are going to be integrated together. What we are going to integrate in the sense, we are going to impose sound effects and video, graphics, and all other sensor based inputs whichever you are collecting from the real world as an objects. With the help of your camera or your devices, you can collect some real world images like tree, or if you want to capture a pool or an ocean, that you can capture it. And for that, we are going to augment, or we are going to incorporate your imaginary visual or animated thing. So both the things will be clubbed together, and which will give you a real world experience. So it is good way to render a real world information and present it in an interactive way. So it is not that this is separate and that is going to be separate. No, you are going to integrate both real world image as well as your imaginative image into a single background, into a single form of video or audio or image, whatever it is. In that form, we are going to club it. And augmented reality will be displaying a superimposed information in your field of view. So whichever you are imagining, that you can impose on your field of view, and you can take it to a new world where the real and virtual worlds are tightly coupled. You cannot differentiate it as an imaginary picture and this is a real world picture. You cannot differentiate it. Even you can see in the bottom line the image which have been presented. So you can see this picture. Could you able to differentiate the image which is present in the mobile device, whether it looks like an imaginary pic incorporated into a real life? No, it is not, right? So that background is in a hall of a room that have been captured in your mobile device, but imaginary sofa is placed over that real world image. So you can now imagine it how if you place a red color sofa over that room, if you feel it as good enough and if you feel it will be giving more comfort for you, then you can afford it. If you feel like, no, this color doesn't suit for this room, then you can replace it with some other sofas which you feel it comfort. And if you feel like, no, let me go for 3 seaters of black color sofa, that can be incorporated over there so that it will give some real feel, then you can go for that. You're not going to purchase from a shop, you're not going to place it over there. All those are you are going to impose over that real world image. So by imposing it, if you find it as good enough, then you can afford it or you can withdraw it. So a simple augmented reality use cases, user will be capturing the image of a real world object, and the underlying platform will be detecting a marker can be of anything. Okay, so whichever fix that one, that viewpoint is considered as a marker here. It can be of anything, it can be your mobile device, or you can place a textbook for viewing it. So whichever gives you a viewpoint, that viewpoint is considered as a marker, so which triggers it to add a virtual object on top of the real world image. So already you captured your room, and in that you are going to place one of the imaginary object. Okay, and it will be displaying on your camera screen. So with that you can identify whether it is comfortable or not, or any alterations have to be made. You can do that, and finally you can go for adoption of it. So this is what an outline of AR. And as you might have listened from the previous sessions, like what are the types of augmented reality are there. Majorly, whenever we go for augmented reality, AR or VR technology, we will be having several questionnaires, like whether I have to connect to a live camera for viewing it, or where I have to put the exact content of the real world image, or where I have to place my imaginary view. And these questions will be rising up, and these questions will be giving you the solution with 2 types of augmented reality. One is marker and another one is markerless. So under markerless we have so many categories, wide range of categories, like superimposed, location based, web based. So many things are there. All those things will come under markerless. So in earlier days, or still it is in use, that is marker based AR. Marker based AR in the sense you have to fix some viewpoint. Okay, so if you fix some viewpoint and if you capture the things, then it comes under marker. Okay, here this particular session will tell you without any viewpoints, without going for placing a textbook for capturing the image, or without having any of the viewpoints, how are augmented reality going to work. So all those kinds will come under markerless augmented reality. Clear? So marker in the sense we need to know exactly what the user is looking at. Okay, that type of viewpoint fixation will be there in marker based augmented reality. Without
Excuse
knowing
me.
exactly. Yes, sir.
Sir, ma'am, it is same labeled one or unlabeled, or it's a different terminology, marker and unmarked?
No, sir, it is not like labeled, unlabeled. You can have labeled and unlabeled even in markerless also.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. So marker means I will show you the images in the upcoming slides. So marker means we need to know exactly what you are going to view it. For example, you can take a textbook, and if I want to know the working principles of an engine, then I have to place my mobile device or camera over that image. Then you can able to view the working condition or working principles of an engine. So that is called marker based. In markerless, I'm not going to use any of the viewpoints. Okay, just I'm going to capture one real world image, and I can integrate any of the superficial images over that real world image. So there we won't be bringing a concept of viewpoint. So that is markerless that we will be discussing. This is just an outline. Okay, so markerless, we just need to display 3D augmented reality models, which we are going to do without a marker. Means we are not going to use any of the viewpoints here. So that is called markerless AR. And under markerless AR, there are so many concepts and so many types are available. Out of that, the familiarly used type is location based markerless AR. Okay, so where we need to provide location information. Assume that I want to travel in one of the street, assume let it be T Nagar. Okay, then I have to choose that location information. In T Nagar I have to travel now. So if I choose the location of T Nagar, it will show me in a realistic way which are the markets are available and which are the malls are available, shopping malls are available. All those things will be visually displayed to you throughout the road. Okay, so those things are under location based markerless AR, where you have to provide location information and you can walk in that direction itself. Where in which street you want to walk, you can walk. It will show you where the malls are present and where coffee shops are there, which is the busiest restaurant, or which restaurant is rated with 5 star. All those things you will be getting. Any queries?
You can
Participants?
continue. Gurmeet. You can continue.
Okay, ma'am.
Some disturbance.
Yes, ma'am. And next is, what is markerless AR? So markerless AR is used to denote an AR application that does not need any of the prior knowledge of user's environment. But if it is marker AR, then surely you have to know the prior knowledge of user environment. As I told you, if it is a textbook, you have to take the textbook and you have to scan over it. If it is QR code, then you have to scan over the QR code. If you miss the QR code, then that information won't be available for you. And if it is any of the scanners, you have to place that and you have to do that. So there is a necessity to know some of the prior knowledge about user environment. But this markerless augmented reality does not require any of the prior knowledge about user environment. We can place our 3D content into the same fixed point, and you can also have your imaginary object in that same fixed point. You are not going to deviate anything from that. Just you are going to capture a real world image and you can have a 3D visualization or whatever that imaginary object you have. Assume that I want to imagine like one tree is there in front of my home, and if I want to know if that tree is full of flowers, how it looks like, then you need not to have any of the knowledge about user environment. Just you can capture that tree and you can integrate more of flowers in that, and you can visualize in your real experience how it is looking like. And assume that if I want to tie up some 2-3 sheeps under the tree, you can bring 2-3 sheeps and you can place it and you can see how it will be looking like. And if I want to know that in my hall, if there is some 3 square feet of grassing was there, then you can take a picture of your hall floor and you can place the grass over that for 2 square feet or for 3 to 4 square feet. Then you can see how it will be looking like. So you need not to have any information about your user environment, and you need not to know anything about user viewpoint and all. So that is one of the benefit of having markerless AR. And here AR have been completely completed the transmission from image to QR code based activations. Already it is there in use. So here your markerless AR also will give you such a real world experiences. For whatever the transitions you want, you can transit it and you can find out how it will be looking like. And already it is there in use with the help of Apple's AR kit and then Google's augmented reality core software development kits have made markerless AR, which are available in iPhones also, and you can get it from Google products also. But as of now, it is of paid. Only for demo, you can get it in free of cost. And retailers, educators, and then game producers are few groups which are mainly focused for this AR technologies, and they are creating many of the amazing tools and contents for the betterment of learners. because by go through the text, we also will be getting suffocated in one part of time. We cannot understand the things. So to make it more of realistic, they are working under that. So it may be in implementation in near future. And this is an example which I took from Google as such, to make us understand how this works. Augmented reality helpful for medical industry. So this is the current standard treatment. This is the current standard treatment which is available for cancer detection and for tumor removal. You can see this first image, current standard treatment. So what they will be doing is they will be identifying where the tumor is. So they will place the beam, which will be they will be placing the beam, and that beam will be large and it is of static. Okay, you cannot change that beam or the location to some other extent, or you cannot bend it. All those things are not possible. So beam will be of large and static, and once it detects the tumor, and it will target the tumor to hit it for the removal purpose. But tumors are not static. It will be keep floating, and sometimes it will be moving around, or sometimes it will get misplaced. So in that case, what will happen? If you fix the tumor and if you try to hit it, and if that location is not in control, and if the location have been misplaced, then you won't be at the doctors won't be removing or hitting the cancer cell. Rather, they will hit that healthy cells. Okay, where the tumor have been mislocated. So they will miss the tissue, or they will miss the cancer cell where your normal cells will get affected. So this is what it is there in implementation right now. So it is suboptimal local control where you cannot control it, and collateral radiation toxicity will also be more. Since you are damaging the proper cells and you are missing the cancer cells, again that patient have to come for the treatment, and that time we will be going for the removal. But see this, if we use augmented reality or virtual reality kind of applications, then you have markerless tracking where your user viewpoint need not to be prior known. You have more number of flexibility. It can be viewed in 360-degree angle. When since it is 3D, you need not to fix with static beam or a beam of huge size. You have the flexibility for rotating it 360 degrees. Since it is more of three-dimensional, you can have small beam and adaptive as well. So if the tumor missed while you're viewing it through your lens or through your Google Glass, then you can place it where the tumor is exactly present. You can bend the radiation and you can find out accurately where that cell is. There you can target and you can hit it, so that your cancer cell will get destroyed, and it have optimal local control. That is one of the major advantage which is not there in present scenario. It is suboptimal local control, and you can have minimal radiation toxicity, because we are not going to impose a real laser to them. Instead, we are going to view it through our Google lens, and we are going to predict where the tumor is with the help of markerless augmented reality. So the radiation effect for the patient will be drastically reduced when compared with standard treatments. So this is one of the major benefit of having markerless augmented reality. And now comes a question. Okay, marker means user viewpoint is required. Markerless means we need not to know any prior information, and we need not to worry about user viewpoint. So what is a major difference? How it exactly looks like? You can see this image, then we can go for the concept. So my policy is picture speaks a lot rather than reading, as we are into augmented reality. So images will give you more of information rather than telling by myself, or rather than reading the text. So you can see this image. This is marker based AR. Okay. So if you want to know about this skull, then you have to place your device over the skull and you have to get the information about it. So user viewpoint is required. This is my user viewpoint as of now. Okay, UVP means user viewpoint. So if I want to know about this skull, what is required? This skull represented textbook is required. So if I place my device over this skull, then I can get to know about the details of the skull. So if prior information is there and if user viewpoint is there, then you can able to study about that. Assume that if it is markerless, there is no any information, prior information are there. You can see this first image. Okay, I'm just taking the first image where I captured my hall, or where you can capture whichever the real world images you need, and only that you are going to do. Whichever the imaginary imaginations or whichever the things you want to impose over that, you can impose it without worrying about any of the user viewpoints. So you can see in this picture, I just captured floor of a room, and you can place mat over that and you can see how it looks like. If I don't feel this carpet is good, I can go for some other carpet, all those things. So I didn't place any of the marker over here. There is no user viewpoint and there is no any specific markers here. Whereas here, the textbook is a marker. Without the textbook, you cannot read this. You cannot get to know the real experience of the skull. If you have the textbook, then you will get the real experience of the skull. But here, there is no textbook and there is no marker space. Only thing, I've captured a real world image. With that, I'm just seeing how it gives me a real experience of my imagination. Now you can see the second picture, marker based versus markerless. So in marker based, as I told you, you need some user viewpoint. Here also they have taken user viewpoint as a textbook. And if I want to know how it was raining there, I need this textbook. While studying that, I can experience a real feeling of how a rain will be, how if it is raining presently. That I can get to know only if I have this user viewpoint. This is called as a marker. If I have this marker, then I can get to know how it was if it rains now. Okay, but you see the second image, there is no marker. Only thing, he captured his room, and there I am going to imagine if a sofa was there, how it will be. In my room, if a lion was there, how it will be. So there is no marker. I didn't place a tiger image, or I didn't place any of the sofa image over there. Only thing, I captured my real world image. With that, I can impose my imaginary visions over that without any marker. Clear? Okay, now coming into the concept, there are two prevalent paths for experiencing AR. One is marker based and another one is markerless. As I told you, earlier stages have been started with marker based, where it is of 2-dimensional. It is not 3-dimensional. You need 2-dimensional any of the user viewpoint, which is called as a marker. Over for that, we can add our imagination to give some real world experiences. So this is what two paths. One is marker and another one is markerless. So in case of marker based AR, user have to use markers, which is called as the target images. Which image you want to experience it in a real life, that image is needed. And to indicate that, you can take any of the things, it can be defined as a marker. Whatever the user viewpoint you're choosing, all those things will be considered as a marker. There is no special thing considered to be a marker. If it is a marker, then we have to write something. No, whatever the things which you are using to imagine it, all those things will be considered as a marker. That's why I used a correct terminology called user viewpoint. Which point you have to view. If you take that into consideration, then that will be considered as a marker. It can be of anything. It can be any of the motor skills, or it can be a textbook, or it can be a written statement. If you are writing something, or if you are drawing something, and if you want to project it in a real time, all those things of user viewpoint is considered as a marker. So these markers will determine where our AR application have to be placed in digital 3D content, and you can have a visual field through your camera feed. Okay, this is the example. This picture you can see, this is a 2D image where you have it in the textbook, and what you're doing through your AR application, you are placing this image content and you're viewing it in a visual effect. That is what your marker based AR will do. And you can have distinctive pictures which can be recognized by the device. That pictures are called as a marker. What you're viewing, that is considered as a marker. And a marker can be of anything as long as it has enough unique visual points. If it does not holds visual points, then you cannot able to view it. So only thing, it is to be with user viewpoint, and if there is a visual points, you can capture it through your augmented reality application, and then you can see the three-dimensional working view of it. So images with lots of corners and edges will work specially well for marker based AR. So you can see this this particular paper have so many corners, and when you place your AR application over that, you can able to get this 3D image with visual effects. And coming to markerless AR, so it is by default places your virtual 3D objects. You are not going to capture any of the 2D images. You are directly going to place your virtual 3D objects like sofa or like carpet, whatever it is, any animals or any animated things, you can place it directly to your real world images in the physical environment, depending on environment's real features rather than identifying the markers. We are not going to identify any markers. Rather, we are going to choose the environment. In that environment, directly we are going to incorporate 3D objects. So this differentiation will eliminate the need for object tracking systems, because we are going to do it directly where you need not to have special tracking systems separately. And this is possible with the help of cameras advancement, and then sensor technology is needed, and you need a high-end processor. With CPU, it is not possible. We need multi-core processors. Otherwise, we need graphic processing unit. GPUs are required so that you can incorporate 3D technologies in a very good manner. If I am dependent on dual-core processor or quad-core processor, then it won't be supported. That's why advancement of cameras should be there, and sensor technology should be there, and processors, and then computer vision recognition algorithms to be incorporated in your device. If all these things are there, then you can accurately detect the real world object, and you can map your imaginary things onto that real world environment. So that is what required for having markerless AR. And is it possible to move the virtual objects? Yes, you can move the virtual objects. For example, you can take either first image or the second image. If I want to move this sofa to the left end to see how it looks like, yes, you can rotate it. And if you move it, if you want to move it horizontally or vertically at 360-degree angle, any rotations are possible. Even you can see in Lenskart nowadays, you can able to view wear that specs, and you can see left turn and then right turn, upper, lower. So all the ends you can able to visualize how that specs looks for you if you wear it. And you can choose any number of specs. You can able to wear it and see in a 3D view, and without having any of the things to be afforded. Even in your normal mobile device, you could able to pick the glasses, you can wear it, and you can rotate your heads, and you can see how does it look, left, back, all those things. And even if you feel it comfortable and if it looks well for you, then you can afford it. The same kind of, so 3D. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, you mean to say that we have to combine yaw, roll, and pitch at execution?
Yes, sir, exactly. Yes, sir, exactly.
Okay.
Yes, sir, thank you. As sir rightly said, we are going to combine both the things. And even so many applications are available right now in the market,
but those things are not exactly markerless AR. They are providing three-dimensional view. So here we can have some realistic experience for video, audio, as well as any of the things. If you want to incorporate all those things, we can incorporate. Okay. So imagine an AR application that can place a virtual furniture inside your living room, as you are seeing in this picture, right? So you can place your virtual furniture in your living room, and you can have different combinations of objects, like only one sofa if it was there, how it look like, or if you have some tables, wooden tables or wooden furnitures, then how it will be. All those things, styles, objects, locations, everything you can place and you can try for it. And this application user need to decide where you have to place that virtual object, and if you want to rotate it, all those things you can have a try. And these are possible with the help of markerless AR. So any doubts up to this? So just we have seen introduction and then types of AR, and then what is mean by markerless AR, what does how does it gets differed from marker and markerless?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Ma'am, that means if we in simple words, you can differentiate between marker and markerless. There should be some prerequisites for markers, and there are no prerequisites for markerless. Means
Sir, here also you need, yes.
Viewer point of view is required for marker one, and whereas there are no viewpoint is required for markerless.
Exactly, sir. Exactly correct. Yes, sir. But it is not that prerequisite, because for markerless AR also prerequisites are there. As I told you, you need advancement in camera, sensor technologies, and computer vision recognition algorithms are required. But only thing is user viewpoint or prior information about. Yes.
I understood that I understood. I'm saying from the viewer's point of view.
Yes, sir. Exactly correct. You are right, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. So user viewpoint information. Yes, sir.
Ma'am, I'm actually working on marker-based AR technologies.
Okay, sir.
But in marker-based AR technologies, we used to process the images that we called a marker to generate features, and to recognize the features, we use the softwares to recognize and plant the augmented object over the marker.
Yes, sir.
But there will be still some stability issues if the marker is not printed well or the viewpoint is not visible properly. The stability of the object will not be good.
Yes, sir.
But while coming for markerless AR, those are going to be like you are not going to process anything. You don't have any features recognized to anchor the object to it. How that actually works, ma'am? That I have to know.
Sir, here also processing, feature extraction, everything is there, sir, but that will come with built-in softwares. We are not avoiding any of the processing technologies here, sir. All those things are there, and that will come with SDKs itself. If you take Google ARKit, or if you take Apple's ARKit, that will come with default processing and computer vision recognition algorithms, which will do data processing, feature extractions, and to place the viewpoint. Everything will come by default, sir. Just we are going to pick, drag and drop.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you for that.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your question, Aris. It represents that all are awakened and listening to me. It gives me further, it makes me to drive further. So with that, I'm going to present my next slide, that is, how does markerless augmented reality work? This is of very basic and fundamental, where you can clearly see which are the things we are going to incorporate. As we discussed in the previous slide, we need one computer or mobile generated data. Means any picture you can take, any picture or textbook or anything that you generate from your mobile or from your camera, that is called as an augment. And we need one real kind of experience, real world experience. Let it be room, as we have seen in this previous image, right? So we are incorporating two things. One is the sofa. That sofa is not a real one that you captured from your mobile, or you might have downloaded from product catalog of Amazon at somewhere. So that is computer generated data. And the background is the room, which is of real world experience. So now what we are doing, we are integrating these two together, and that gives you an augmented reality. So that is what generally we are looking for, like computer generated data plus your physical or real world environment, that is of reality. If you integrate these two, you will get augmented reality. So how it will work, you are picking a real world scene, and you are adding virtual objects to it, and you are visualizing how it will be if we club both together. And here comes one of the example for that. You can see here SM Lee's design. So this is written in a paper which have been captured. Okay, this is called as a physical real world, and this can be taken with the help of camera, or you can take some of the location based devices like GPS or accelerometer. If you want to capture from the forest, that is not possible. So that forest image you can take through GPS. Or if I need to have some location based information, as I told you, if I want to travel to T Nagar, so I need some location based information. So those things are called physical or real world, that we will be capturing through camera or through GPS tracker or accelerometer. And next is, you will be imagining, right? Like if a spider is there with four legs, how it will be. Or if some of the aliens are entering into my room, how the alien should look like. So that imaginary virtual data you can take. It can be generated from computer, or you can have any specialized softwares to generate that one, and you will be having that. So this is user required virtual data. I'm in need of that, so I am generating that one. Same previous example also you can think of. I need a sofa for my living room, so I will be picking one of the sofa which is available. So user required virtual data you are taking. And how it can be incorporated, you can see this in this paper. If this object have been placed, how it look like, this is how it will be looking like. And if you want to rotate this virtual data, yes, you can rotate this. And if I want to make it down, or if I want to make it travel over the paper, if it moves on my paper, how it look like, yes, you can make it to move. So this is called virtual data on top of real world data, which is possible with the help of augmented reality. This is your augment and this is your reality. So we are merging these two to superimpose some of the real world experience you can get with your virtual data. So this is how it works, and this is the theoretical part of this explanation, how we are combining it, how we are making it to work. So here comes markerless AR will merge digital data with input from real time. Real world inputs will be collected, and you are going to register it to a physical space. Okay, and what are the things we are going to do? We are going to combine the technologies like software, audio, and then video graphics with smartphones, or you can use headset cameras or gyroscope, and then accelerometer, haptic sensors. All those things are there in currently in use. Industries are using it, and all those things are combined together, which will give you some real world experience of your imaginary virtual data. And also you can club location services to register 3D graphics into the real world. So all these things are possible with the help of markerless AR. So markerless AR will detect your object, or it will characteristics the points of the scene where you have to mark and where you have to project it. All those things it will visualize, and you need not to give any prior knowledge of the environment like walls or intersection points. Those things are not required, but these are required for marker based AR. There you have to capture the image, as one of the professor rightly said, Like you have to pre-process the images, you have to extract the features, and you have to create the marker first. Then only you can go for further uplifting. But here, all those things are there by default. All those tools and technologies are inbuilt, so that we are just using which the technology we are in need of. Based on that, it will incorporate and it will work further. And the technology is often associated with visual effect that combines the computer graphics and then the real world imaginary, like what we are visualizing, right? The same way you can get it. And you can see here the first markerless system, which used a device location services and hardware to interact with AR resources, and it defines its location and orientation mainly in space. Where they have implemented first is to know the location and orientation of the space. They have introduced this markerless system, where we need not to have any user viewpoint. Only that satellite will detect what is that particular area of that space, and those images will be captured through satellite, and that will be stored in grid computing. And from there, they have took into consideration for any of the location based services like Google Maps, all those things. Okay. And now there are huge development in markerless AR. In that, one of the finest tools and technology is SLAM, and even we have separate SLAM markerless AR. So if you could able to if you are much more interested in markerless AR, then you can kindly go and refer to this like SLAM markerless AR, where you will be getting more of image analysis and more of the applications which are presently in development with the help of SLAM markerless AR. Okay, so SLAM in the sense simultaneous localization and mapping technology, where you can have many number of real world images, and you can have many number of virtual objects to be placed, and how it can be set up, and how we can live in imaginary world. All those things are they are considering, and all those things are in development stage. So this is one of the best area where we can think in the near future. And SLAM markerless image tracking scans the environment. I told you, right? It will scan that environment, and it will create the maps of where to place the 3D object, or in which place you have to mark it, and if you want to enlarge the image, and if your location does not support it at that time, how to minimize it, and where to find out the pixels for placing. All those things will be developed under SLAM. Okay, so SLAM is one of the finest area of markerless AR. And even if the objects are not within the user field of vision, and then also you can able to move, and you cannot have to know the prior information about the new images. All those things are not required, because all those things are there in an algorithm way, which is already. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you said markerless AR.
Yes,
There
sir.
will not
Yes,
be
sir.
interaction between the objects in markerless AR. It's a simply image.
No, sir, there will be interaction between the objects as well.
Then it is mixed. Then it is mixed reality, or it's a augmented reality.
Sir,
Because
it's an
what we
augmented.
differentiate-
Yes, yes, yes.
What we differentiate between mixed and augmented is that there is no interaction with the augmented reality, and with mixed reality there is an interaction also.
No, sir, I'm not understanding your question. Means.
What I'm saying, in case of mixed reality, there is an interaction
sir.
also, whereas in augmented reality there is no interaction between the objects.
Sir, interaction means you cannot communicate with the objects.
Yeah. That is what I'm saying.
Yes, yes. You cannot communicate with the objects, sir. Only thing you can, you are able to move the objects, and wherever you want, you can place the objects, and you can get that feel. But communicating with the objects is not possible.
Correct. What I'm saying,
Yes,
if this markerless mixed reality is there, then
Yes, sir.
especially in case of medical field, because
sir.
you are not aware of the situation, what the surgeon is going to be facing, or maybe the clinician is going to be facing.
Yes,
So
sir.
can this mixed reality, markerless mixed reality, will be a very useful tool as far as medical part is concerned? Because I'm not aware of it, but I'm thinking that if there is an interaction also between the objects, that means
Yes, sir. But
the
the objects, only thing we can add the features to the objects, sir. We cannot make the objects to speak, right? Even if it is heart, or even if it is tumor cells.
right.
Tumor cells cannot communicate with us. Only thing we can able to view where the tumor cell is. If the tumor cell is moved apart, we can able to fix the beam nearer to that or towards that tumor cell. But we cannot make the tumor cell to respond to us.
Okay.
If it is any animated character, then we
Correct.
have to think the next reality where we can make that animated character to bark if it is a dog, or if it is a giraffe. That imagination we can add it as a sound, sir.
Like ma'am, if
Yes.
the say inflammation is there, the redness
Yes.
becomes a feature. Okay.
Yes.
If
Yes, sir.
that redness interact with the equipment which surgeon is using, then
Yes.
that's possible.
Yes, sir. We can set some alarm. Like if
Correct.
it is nearer to that affected area or the inflammation, then we
Correct.
can keep some alarm. That feature we can add, sir.
Because there will be, when there will be inflammation, there will be redness, there will be heat.
Yes. Yes.
So any of the feature can be correlated with the
Yes. Yes, sir. We
device they are
can.
using. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
We can add
Thank
that, sir. We can add audio, video, and then sound effects, and we can set, as you said, if we reach that state, then it can give us alarm sound. All those things are possible. But only thing we cannot make the objects to communicate with us. That is not possible.
Correct. Correct.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Yes, sir. So this is how the augmented reality works. Like we have to take mobile generated or computer generated data and plus physical or real world environment, and we are going to merge it to provide one real world experience. So these are the examples for that. So SLAM is one of the finest technology which will scan the environment and creates the map where you can able to identify where the user can place its object. That also can be detected well in advance, so that you need not to wait for user to place that object. So when they capture the image, that time itself it will identify or detect this particular image can be fixed in this particular location. All those things can also be detected by the SLAM technology. And now comes what are the different types of markerless AR are available. So we have got some outline about what is mean by markerless AR. Now we will be seeing what are the different types of markerless AR are available, and all those things are still in development stage. So we will be seeing a bit exposure about location based. I'm not going to take superimposition, projection, and outlining AR, because all those things are in research and many of the concepts are available. So I'm going to brief about location based AR in that. So these are the various forms of markerless AR: location, superimposition, projection, and then outlining. So what is the most basic form of markerless? In the sense, we are going to superimpose virtual objects into a static captured 2D images. So that is what your physical environment, whatever we are capturing, right? That is a static captured 2D image. In that, we are going to impose some of the virtual objects of our imagination. It can be a ring. If you want to see whether ring suits well for your finger, that you can do. Where your fingers or your hand will be a 2D image. In that, you are going to impose a virtual object that can be a ring. Okay. And this is not actually the state of art method. Why? Because it can be done in photo editing also. There are many number of photo editors presently. Photo editor tools are available where you can easily do that. But what it is different from that photo editors and this augmented reality, whether both are same? No, it is not the same, because in markerless we are going to use red, green, blue, the same coloring color labels with SLAM, and we are going to impose sensor fusion, where it will be giving you a real world experience. If you want to turn this hand, you can turn and see, but in photo editor you cannot turn and see. And if I want to remove that, and if I want to import another ring, or if I want to insert 2-3 ringers in my hand, and if I want to visualize it, that is possible. But in photo editors, that is not possible. So it will give you infrared time of light cameras. So advanced cameras and then advanced software technologies are needed. That is one of the major prerequisite, and already it is there in Microsoft HoloLens. And then you can incorporate many number of camera technologies and software technologies to construct a 3D map of user surrounding. Okay, you will feel like you are living in that environment where you have spread your carpet, and where you have kept your sofa, and where you are living with your virtual objects. That real world feel you will get, but that is not possible in photo editing. So this feature is critical component which is not there in photo editors, and which will enable the apps running on these devices like augmented reality devices to place virtual content within the space concretely. Means you won't feel the difference of this is the image and this is a virtual object. Like that you cannot differentiate. It will give you the feel of it is true, like it's a real world. Like that feel you will get. But if you take photo editors, then you can able to differentiate, this is the edited copy, this is morphing, this is animated. That you can differentiate, but here you cannot differentiate that one. And this is location based markerless augmented reality. You can have a look onto this image. So if I want to walk in this direction, it will show me that what that place is and which are the blocks available in that building. And next to that building, what are the things are available to view, and what it is meant for. All those information will be projected in front of your eyes. I no need to go and ask, I no need to go and see the board representations. Just I will show my mobile device in front of the street. Only that you are going to do. But if you show your camera, if you take the location, then all those things will be projected in that location, which are available, and which are there nearer to you, how many kilometers you have to walk. All those things will be projected. So this is what a location based markerless augmented reality will do. Only thing is we have to feed location information to that. And you can see in this image also, like if what the user is doing, just they are taking their mobile device and they are switching on their camera. Only that they are doing. They didn't do any other thing apart from that. It is showing shopping center 53 to 59 meters distance, and it is 5-star rated. And coffee shop is there for from him to 50 to 55 meter distance, and fashion shop is available. So all those things you can get to know with the help of location based markerless augmented reality. Now you can see there is no user viewpoint. They didn't take any of the user viewpoint, just they projected a location information. With that location information, what are the informations have been already superimposed, that details you can able to view. Any questionnaires?
Yeah, ma'am. Ma'am, actually, I got a doubt, ma'am. When you observe
Yes, sir.
this, when you observe this Google map, whenever you are doing the driving, in order to find out the distances, you mean to say that are they really using this particular AR, ma'am? Whatever you mentioned.
No, sir. It is not used till date. Whatever we are seeing, right? That is images captured and it have been feeded, and they are means they have not incorporated any of the AR technologies so far.
Okay, ma'am. Okay, thank you, thank you.
Yes, sir. If we have AR technology, then you need not to open your Google Maps also, sir.
As you said, just camera switch on is enough.
Yes, yes. You have to have a AR application, and if your AR application have been installed in your mobile device,
That
just
is
you are
enough.
going to switch on your camera. That's all.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you.
Yes, sir. So location-based AR merges 3D objects into a user's physical space, because this is common for all markerless AR, not only for location, for any of the markerless AR. This is what we are going to do. But here it uses a device location and sensors to unite the object to a point of interest, which area you are going to travel. Assume that I am there in T Nagar. I reach that T Nagar, and if I want to know what are the shopping malls are available and how much distance I have to walk, this will be mainly help us when we are traveling in some other destinations. If I'm going for some other country, and in that time it will help us for as a traveler's guide. We need not to ask anybody what is the nearest restaurant and whether that restaurant is good or not. All those things we need not to ask. Just you can walk, you by thinking like one traveler guide is there with you. So what and all traveler guide will help you for all those things we can get with the help of location based augmented reality. If any of the foreigners are coming to our place, then they can have this app where they will get all the destinations, all the destination information, everything will be guided and provided to them with a real world experience. So you can immediately feel that your surroundings have been come alive, like what are the places are available and what you are looking for, everything will be available. And one famous game is there with the help of markerless location based augmented reality, that is Pokemon Go. Somebody asked me like Google Maps have been incorporated with this or not. Sir, if you want to have a try with location based markerless, you can go for Pokemon Go and even PUBG, that we all aware of, right? So it will show you where that object have been, virtual object is located, and people can go there and they can detect that object. So that is one of the best example for location based markerless augmented reality. So your virtual object is that Pokemon, and it will move around here and there, and you can detect it. All those things you can do. So that is what you can place virtual objects on top of your physical space. For example, you can take a city street and you can get to know whether indoor shopping centers are an airport or any of the digital AR contents are appearing in that. All those things you can able to figure out if you have just your mobile device with camera on. And this is originally called as dead reckoning markerless AR, which uses combination of camera systems and dedicated sensors are incorporated in that. And as usual, without algorithms nothing will work in any of the computer technology. So algorithms are being incorporated to accurately detect and to map the real world environment where we are actually. That will be taken into consideration, and it will be providing you the information like location of walls and points of intersection, and then you can able to see what and all have been marked over there. All those specific highlights you can get to know with the help of location based markerless AR. And this is advantage and disadvantage. Like I will take you to table format, all these things only, that you can see it in a shorter form. The benefits is you can have range of motion with AR, means you can increase the length and width of your real world. If I want to imagine an ocean with plenty of any dinosaur or any of the virtual objects you can imagine, that is possible. And if you want to have a real experience with sound effects and audio, all those things, you can have a headset to initialize an AR app, and you can get into the real world and you can experience it, and you can share the experience. If you want to connect your friend to that same imagination, yes, you can connect your friend so that you and your friend will be in the same imaginary world, and you can widen your field of view for AR content. As I told you, it is not limited. If you want to enlarge it, you can enlarge that range of view. So these are the benefits, like you can get into your imaginary world, and you can you're not purely in your imaginary world, you will be there really, but you can add many number of virtual objects whichever you want to get connected with. So these are the advantages. And why it is needed in the sense, because technology drives us. You don't stop with your imagination by having it in mind. You experience it. For that experience we can take these things. And challenges are, if it depends on flat or textured surfaces, then we need to extract the features, and we have to place our viewpoints correctly. This can be there for marker as well as markerless, but here we have to have some complex algorithms like slam technologies, so that this challenge we can overcome. And if we run AR application in mobile phone, then it will consume lot of power. Even if you install Pokemon Go or PUBG, you can see that one, it will be consuming more of power. And slow adoption, assume that you are incorporating plenty of virtual objects, then the adoption will be slow. So these are the advantage and disadvantage. And still more challenges are there, they are working on it. Researchers are like lack of acceptance for AR wearables, if it is purely authenticated, and if it is admissible in your device, then only you can able to use it. So that lack of acceptance also there. And it is smaller in market when we compare. It is not completely developed, and it is not widely in use. In case of healthcare or academics and in industrial applications, it is still in research, so there is no wider response for it, and it is still been in smaller number. So these are some of the drawbacks, and plenty of advantages also there. Any doubts up to this? Different types in that we have seen brief of location based, and we are seeing like what are the advantages and disadvantages of markerless AR. Now we will be seeing like what are the software applications are available for markerless AR. We have plenty of things which are in research, but which are there in market, only that we will be seeing. But before to that, let's see where and all we can apply this. So one is for user centric tracking. You can have VR headsets, like virtual reality headsets, which can be applicable for many of the commercial users that you can have. And then if you want to have one autonomous vehicle with robotics technology, like it has to self drive, and it has to take you to the places wherever you feel, and it has to manage everything, road signals, and then your complete transport issues, and then all those things. If it has to understand, and if it has to take you for autonomous driving, then in such kind of things we can incorporate, or it is already in use with the help of robotics, like motion tracking the motion with space. And you can have many of autonomous vehicles in foreigns, it is already there in role. And you can have motorized wheelchairs, where you will be sitting in the wheelchair, and it will help you to go without any disturbances. Wherever you want, you can choose the path, and it will see whether any obstacles are there in front, any traffic is there, or which path it has to go. All those things will be auto determined, and it will take you to that corresponding location. If I'm choosing any of the restaurant, then it will you have to feed location information. Then this automated wheelchair will take you without finding any obstacles, with overcoming all the obstacles, and it will take you to that particular restaurant with the help of markerless AR. And you can wear the headset if they are blind person or visually impaired, they can able to wear the headset, and they can able to visualize in which path they are traveling, or that wheelchair takes them to which route. All those things they can able to visualize without visionary also. So these are some of the applications where markerless AR is in working. And you can see these two pictures where I told you, right, you can customize your products. This person have captured his hand, and here products are available. He is wearing a ring and he is seeing whether it suits him or not. If it is not, he can change and he can choose some other ring and he can wear and see. So this experience you can get. And also, if I want to learn a thing, how an art function, then I can place over my book and I can capture that and I can get to know how the art works in reality. These are certain applications where they are seriously focused to develop more number of applications as well. And these are top markerless AR SDKs, means which are the software development kits are available with high priority for developing markerless AR. One is Google's augmented reality core, and then Apple's augmented reality kit. So these are evolved from hardware based products like Google Tango, and also we have software based SDKs also. How it works in the sense, they will be adding more features. Only these things will get differentiated in terms of features. There is no special kind of difference will be there. If you take Google's AR core and if you take Apple's AR kit, only thing is the key features will be getting differentiated. And when you take Apple's AR kit, it has been unveiled in 2017. So by that itself, you can understand all these technologies are still in research and they are coming up with so many applications from minor level to major level. And this is the AR kit which brought core AR functionality. For example, how to track the plane in the sense the surface, okay, and how to anchor the objects into the iOS operating system. And then it has the features like SLAM, and then object detection, light estimation, and then continuing the area AR experience. All those things are value added features for Apple's AR kit, and it is free for the developers, not for all of them. Developers of AR can able to get it for free of cost, this Apple's AR kit, and they can develop many more features and then many more applications using that. And if you take Google's AR core, then it is free and it is open source, and it has the features like motion tracking, environmental understanding. Since it is markerless, environmental understanding plays a vital role, because user won't feed the prior information about the environment. It should be auto studied. And light estimation, user interaction, and then user viewpoints capturing. Some of the professors were telling like in marker based we will be doing it manually, but here all those things come by default in that SDK. And anchors, trackable, and then augmented images and sharing, everything are the key features of Google's AR core kit. And one of the proprietary and mainly focused AR kit is MaxRent MX tracking. This I will show you. This reference I have given in the end. Just I will show you that website. Yeah, this is maxentlabs.com. If you go there, you can able to find out many number of products like what are the products they are developing, and their main focus is 3D and then AR. You can able to see room planner apps, and then scene configurator, augmented reality furniture apps, social media content creator, virtual reality shopping apps, and then 3D 60-degree product viewer, and how to advertise using AR technology. And then what are the designer solutions are available. All those things you can get from this. Okay, so this link I have kept in my slide in the last, but this is one of the proprietary site. This is not open source. This is proprietary AR development lab. In this you can get some of the demo if you want to see how augmented reality works. All those things you can get from this. This I will be sharing you in the end. You can see this, how it works, how you can see it in 3D, and how they are presenting it for advertisement in web-based augmented reality. All those things you can get from this. And even if you want to have a demo, you can have it. And this is a proprietary one. It is not like Google. Google is open source, which where you can download it for free of cost. So here tracking can also be paired with ARKit and AR Core. They are using the same. But here you will be getting some relative tracking approach, which is not there in Google's R Core and then Apple Kit. Okay. And here the tracking space scales based on estimates of how user is standing or sitting. All those things will be learned by itself. Since it is markerless, that environmental study is of more in case of Maxent MXT tracking. And here comes which are the industry that uses markerless AR. And you could see in that picture almost everything, like education, and then real estate, engineering, live events, military, healthcare, video games. And you can see this amount whichever have been quoted. Okay, so these are the amount of investment that they made. For education, they have invested $7 million for augmented reality applications. And for video and entertainment, $3.2 billion. And you can see this difference when compared to education, video entertainment, and then video game. Healthcare plays a major role because these are the places where we can get huge support of augmented reality. Okay, so the investment is also huge. And we can see retailers, educators, and game developers are all the examples for industry adopting markerless AR. And they will be using it to create more of consumer use cases. Their target is consumer. So if the consumer views a product, if you are providing a QR code or some code, if they capture it and if they come to know how it works and what other technologies are incorporated in that, then they will feel like more convinced and they will buy the product more. So that is the reason where many of AR are there for retailers, and then in developing the products, it plays a huge role to convince the customer and to make the customer to understand and to advertise their product. They are much of user friendly. And you can expand the number of established use cases, which makes you to afford and access the devices. And we can come up with more of innovative software applications where the software application helps you to understand the technologies in an easier way rather than reading and studying it. And these are the places where it is already there in role. If you take gaming, just I will highlight the important points since we are running out of time. I don't want to extend it much further. So for gaming, you can see Pokemon Go as an example, which is already there, where it helps you to create multi-user real-world games with 3D effect. And if you take interior design of an home or for an organization for building up an infrastructure, then you can have Macy's and then Amazon's, IKEA, and then Ashley Furnitures. This will help you to know a real world experience. If you buy this furniture, where you can place it, how it looks like, all those things you can visually see with the help of these tools. And in retail, you can see Wayfair, Walmart, and then Made.com, and then Alibaba. They are working towards the customer friendly applications where before purchasing the product, you can use it and you can wear it and see whether it is comfortable or not. And if it is so, then we can afford it. So in retail, plenty of applications are coming up. And for advertisement, you can see Print Prison, and then again Wayfair, NBA, Sephora, and Gucci. These will give you the tracker-based print advertisements, where by seeing the product itself, you can get the feel of experiencing it. So such type of advertisements we will be getting in near future. Then in education, Elements 4D, This is mainly will be a rocking for medical students at anatomy 4D, where the students can learn by themselves about the human body. And if you want to study about chemicals, how the chemicals can be mixed up, if we mix two chemicals, what will be the end result, how it looks like, all those things we can visualize with the help of these technologies. And in healthcare, it is still in research, and as of now we have overlaid 3D models to identify the community flu and then virus outbreaks. And for tourism, no other go, we have location based markerless AR, which will give us plenty of information. And as I told you, it will be there with you as a travel guide. We need not to accommodate one travel guide by paying them. Rather, we can use this as an online travel website. You can choose your destination, and you can see what are the things are available, and in that street which are the things are available, how you have to go, which direction you have to go, all those things. And finally, entertainment, that is what the major focus is. You can have your favorite artist or athlete in your room, and you can have live concerts and sporting events with them. Like you can pick your virtual sports person, and you can play with them, and you can have your favorite artist, and you can make them to sing only for you, only their songs you can listen, like one live concert only for you. All those things we can get to have with the help of augmented reality, which will give more, which will be a stress buster as well. And this is my last slide, like future of markerless AR. So we have seen what are the things that are there in use, and what are the things that are there in research, and what may be the further. So the thing is diverse and expected to grow beyond for customer focused application. Like as a customer, which and all there in my imagination, all those things can come into reality. And it is more focused for video games. You can have multiplayer games, and you need not to go for other place to play with your friends. You can have different country friends to play with you, that which is your favorite game that you can play. And you can merge immersive digital content over it. Whatever the digital content, it is not going to stop. As of now there are some restrictions, but you can have merging immersive digital contents to the physical world. Like as I told you in earlier case, it is not that you can have n number of digital images into your real world. There is some restriction, it won't allow for a wider range of sizes, but it is maybe possible in future. And improved visualization can also be there. And as sir told, if there is possibility to interact with that virtual object, how it will be, yeah, that is also there maybe in future, like commentary and storytelling, and remote teamwork kind of. And if you want to have distributed work, collaboration work with your team or with your peers who are there in located in some other country or some other region, all those things can be possible. Like they will be sitting in your room, and you four will be working together. So all those things may be possible in your future. And you can have virtual projector rooms, and you can collaborate virtual avatars in real time. So all those things are expected from augmented reality. And you can have any time zone with the help of 3D information. Like if it is American time zone, that you can have it in your imaginary world, that you can incorporate. And you can you need not to go for US for that. In your home itself you can set up that one, which will create you. If it is forenoon in India, if you have set your time zone as US, then your room will be accommodated for that. Morning you could see darkness in your room, and nighttime you could see sun in your room. Like that also it is possible. And finally you can enhance with more of video feeds, and whatever you want to collaborate, you can enhance the possibility of complicated workflow. and you can previously whatever the collaboration you have, still you can hold it. That also can be merged with upcoming and then present environments. So these are the expectations from markerless AR in near future, and almost all those things are there in research. Anytime we can expect these also to be in implementation. And these are the references I took for my learning purpose. And in that I have shown you MaxRent Labs and Blipper, where you can get some of the information in specific to location based and web based AR. And Business of Apps will give you information about how much does it cost for developing an AR application. That I will take you to the drive shortly. And then any questionnaires, we are in the end. So let me just take a glimpse of what and all we have covered in this session. We have seen introduction to AR, what it actually mean, and then the types, basic types of augmented reality. We have seen what is markerless AR. We understood what is the difference between marker and markerless augmented reality, and how does AR works, how it is actually will be if we incorporate these things. And then what are the different types of markerless AR systems that are available in market. In that we have seen location based AR. And then we understood what is the pros and cons that are there for markerless AR, and what are the software applications can be developed with the help of markerless AR. What are the top SDKs are available? 3 SDKs we have seen: Apple, Google, and then Maxent. And then what are the industries that uses markerless AR? Almost all the industries of present scenario. And finally, we have seen what may be the future of markerless AR. Any doubts so far?
Ma'am,
No.
some of the question is in chat box. Kindly answer that.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I will come back to that. Yeah, this I thought to show you blipper.com, where you can get more information about web-based and then location-based AR, markerless AR. How it will be, how you can see the virtual objects, how you can play with that, all those things for gaming. And then in Business of Apps, you can get to know how much does it cost for any kind of AR. If you choose an AR for how many hours, and for developing it, what is the cost, what is the prediction works, all those things you can get to know. So these are the basic references which will help you to understand much about markerless ARs. So let me stop presenting my screen and I will come for the questionnaires which are there in chat box. How algorithms help in markerless augmented reality? Give example. Here we are going to impose the algorithms for variety of purposes. For example, first thing is we are capturing the images, right? Images will be consisting of noises that will be removed, and we have to extract the features of the image. Like if it is a real world image, that may consist of pixels, and then viewpoints we have to extract, and we have to map our virtual object in that particular position, and it has to enhance the clarity of the virtual object. For that also algorithm is required, and it should not be like editing, like photo editing and all we are doing, right? It should not be like that. So for imposing your virtual object to the real world, we are in need of all the algorithms. So that is the need of algorithms here. Apart from processors and then operating systems, all those things, we need mainly algorithms to superimpose the virtual objects to the real world. Yeah, thank you for all those who have mentioned feedback in your chat box. Practical example for markerless augmented reality is what we have seen, right? Pokemon Go, and then anatomy. So these are certain yes, these are certain applications which will give you the practical working feel. Yeah, thanks for all who have mentioned your feedback. Yeah, again, the same question, like a practical example for markerless augmented reality is Pokemon Go Anatomy 4D. You can have a look on to that. You will get some real experience of virtual objects. Can sensor without markerless augmented reality able to sense? Yes, sensor can sense, but we need actuators to work with the sensors. Assume that you are traveling in your bike, right? It will show you the indication your fuel is less. With that, what we can do? It won't work automatically. You have to go and fill your fuel. And you have speed indicator. That is just the indication. So sensors will provide you the actual state of the plant. But to make it work, we need AR support. I hope you understood. Can supersonic missiles are examples for markerless? Yeah, it is also a kind of markerless augmented reality. Yes, sir, you are correct. And from where I get Google and Apple AR kit, what is the hardware requirements? Sir, you can download it from Apple website itself, and also it is available in Google. But hardware requirements, I'm not sure because we need sensor technologies and high-end GPUs and then high-end processors. So with our normal device, it is not possible to work with markerless ARs. Only thing, we can have platform as a service where you can get the services and virtually you can develop with the help of virtualization technologies, sir. But it is not possible to download and develop an AR application in our device. That is not possible. Yeah, thank you all. Yeah, somebody already posted website link. Thanks for that. Google Maps is not exactly imposed with markerless augmented, sir. It is not. It is a kind of grid application. Somebody have meetings, all those things. Yeah, thank you all. Almost I have completed all the queries.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Participants, if you have any queries, or let me wind up the session. Okay.
Thank you for all your patience. I think I have dragged 1 hour 40 minutes. Sorry for that, but thank you for your patience. Patient listening and for the interactive session. Thank you all the participants.
Thank you. Ma'am, Karpolation, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you can go for vote of thanks. ma'am.
Yeah, it's for vote of thanks. We wish to thank our resource person, Dr. Rupini, on behalf of Department of CSE, Nyanamani College of Technology, and participants from various institutions. The session was very informative and we learned a lot. Once again, I personally thank you, Rubini ma'am. Once again, I extend my thanks to all for your kind cooperation. Thank you all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. And it's my great pleasure to join with you all this time. Thank you all. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. On the
Ma'am,
feedback.
shall I leave the session?
Yes, you can leave. The feedback link is posted in the chat box. So all of you kindly fill up the feedback form.